Here we go. It's recording.
Right.
I'm here with Krosst, the man, the myth, the legend.
That's true.
And the lovely Mel. I don't remember either of you guys' last names.
Melanie Yell-Nikisher.
Nikisher.
I go by Mel Yell, and my artist name is Melotika.
Nice. And is your last name straight up just Krosst?
Nah, it's Siebenga.
Siebenga?
Siebenga. So you can see how I would not want to use that.
Yeah. Stage names can be very useful. But so you guys have been on tour from Toronto all the way out here, the buttfuck nowhere, Atlantic Canada.
It's nice out here.
Yeah.
I like it so far.
I was more relaxed as soon as we actually started seeing just wilderness and no storm.
Yeah, you guys went through a crazy storm.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that at all?
Why not?
Where do we even start? It started even before the tour started because you know how the storm across Canada goes east?
Yeah.
So we're in Ontario, right in Toronto, and so the ice storm hit over the weekend, and once it was gone, and we decided to leave Tuesday morning. We left.
Tuesday?
Or Monday morning.
Oh,
Tuesday
no, yeah,
morning.
it was Tuesday. Yeah.
So we left Tuesday morning. It's been pretty good, just right. And once we hit Quebec City, because we're more east, boom, the same storm. So we just followed the storm all the way.
Fucking brutal.
Yeah. And then once we got to Rivière du Loup, it got even worse. You know, couldn't see. It was basically just a whiteout. I couldn't see anything. There's the only other people that were on the road were just transport trucks. And they were doing faster than I was. Mm-hmm. So they'd pass me and then I'd get that slush.
Oh fuck.
Just so much slush on our vehicle. And my windshield wipers are just going nuts. And once we got almost, we were supposed to meet up with a buddy in Fredericton, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then but we didn't make it to Fredericton. So basically before we hit Perth and Dover in New Brunswick, our windshield wipers had gone. So yeah, that was just another thing that we had to deal with. So we pulled over in Perth Andover and rested there because that was 3 a.m. and we were really tired of 18 hours of driving.
Yeah. Fuck, you get so cramped up and depressed.
You don't even realize you're so tired until you lie down. When I hit the bed, that was it. I just fell asleep.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that was a real Canadian experience. To be real, that's Canada.
Yeah, road tripping in a storm.
Storm in the middle of April, right?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, you take all the time to plan out a tour when it's going to be nice, and then you just still get smacked.
Yeah. And originally we were kind of planning. I mean, I was thinking that it would be a cool idea to just sleep in the back of the car, right? You know, I
was telling him that's a horseshit idea. Pardon my French, because in April you have no idea if you're gonna get rain or snow or a storm. And he's like, no.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It in matter of fact was not fucking fine. So
that's funny.
Yeah, we made it to Moncton, did a show in Moncton, right? And then we rocked a smaller crowd there. That was a lot of fun.
Cool.
They were really nice, the people. Even the people working at the bars, they were they stopped what they're doing to watch the show.
Yeah.
Just really supportive.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That small town feel where everyone knows each other, I guess, and they're really big on supporting people, especially newcomers.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, they were super excited just to have people from Toronto.
Yeah, it's a big deal. People never come out here.
Yeah.
It's most of the people I know from out west, they think Canada stops at Quebec. It's that's it. Or it's Quebec and then everything's Newfoundland after there. But
I can kind of see that because where we were on the map, I was looking and Rivière du Loup is fairly close. I mean, I'm just Anglophone through and through, so I can't pronounce French names at all. So when we were close
You're doing well. You're practicing your French up in Quebec City.
It's because I'm dating you. You're Frenchy. But we're pretty close to Gaspésie.
that's
Like the end.
Hey?
Thanks. The end of Quebec, and I was surprised to just see how far we actually had to go just to get to New Brunswick.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see why people don't like coming here.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It's like anytime I've gone on a trip to Montreal or Toronto and going there, coming back, just that like 10-hour, 12-hour stretch of just nothing, just trees. It's just fucked.
Makes you realize though how big our country is. Because I haven't traveled Canada too much. I've been like to Europe and down south, but it's a goal of mine to travel more my own country. And so now I'm living in Ontario and I'm seeing, you know, the outskirts of Toronto. But now like just actually driving through and passing my hometown Montreal and going like more east, like it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
It's really pretty.
Yeah. Well,
like all the mountains all around when we were driving through New Brunswick, and just the trees, they even look different, but we're in the same country.
Yeah, it's trippy, huh?
Yeah, really, like, I don't know, I feel like this is Canada. Yeah, it's cool.
Badass. So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I was reading on your website. Website looks great, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, fuck yeah. You're from some small-ass town with 3,000 people. Where was that at?
It's called Campbellford.
Campbellford.
And you're right when you say that it's a small-ass town. So, like, I mean, you call Halifax buttfuck nowhere. But to me, this is, like, there's way more people still than my hometown. And, you know, there it's like you blink and you miss it, right? You're driving through and then... there's not too much to say about Campbellford other than like it's mostly like every other small town in the rural Canada, you know. It's mildly racist. Which is, I mean, I'm not saying that's a good thing at all. It's just the truth.
It's like a tourist attraction now. Go check out the racism.
Oh man, we made international news because of racism one time. It was, yeah. We've made like headline news, I think twice in my lifetime. Once because it was racist, and the other time because our mayor was yelling at the government because they thought that the government had condemned him to die. So, but when I saw that, I was like, well, thank fuck that our hometown is not in the newspaper for something racist, though. So kudos to us.
Go for the double down on racist news.
Yeah, and then we just got, I think, the world's giant toonie.
You have a big old toonie?
We have a big old toonie in the middle of our town.
That's pretty cool.
It's right there. I'm pretty sure like, my dad was saying that the toonie was designed, like the art of the toonie.
Designed in Campbellford.
Was designed in Campbellford.
Oh, wow.
So that's our claim to fame.
Just in between cursing out black people and whatever else.
Yeah, it'd be a national landmark, so... that's my hometown. That's where I'm from, you know. Not too much cultural diversity either, you know.
Yeah, lots of white people.
Lots of white people.
Lots of old white people.
Yeah, you know, there's a very large seniors home, and helping the seniors is a booming industry in my town.
Yeah. They need help.
They definitely do need help.
Yeah.
Those are the most racist ones.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
What was it? I was watching Bill Burr kind of going to bat for this guy that got in trouble for saying some homophobic or racist shit. He's like, the guy's a senior citizen. Like, what do you expect? He's just lived too long. It's not his fault. It's from a different time.
Yeah, it was like the joke that like everybody has that racist grandma.
Oh yeah, everyone's got it.
Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah. Mel found out just kind of how racist her grandma was a while back.
I'm not gonna go there. Yeah. My grandparents are from Europe.
Okay.
Yeah.
My grandmother came from hard times. She's from Serbia.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some incredible stories that some of the original immigrants have.
Yeah.
My grandfather's from Austria.
Oh,
so
fuck.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they have an insight that's a little bit different than ours. You know?
You gotta just like sift through it, you know, like okay, just forget about the racism. Can't just write off a whole person, especially
you can't change a 73-year-old woman.
Yeah, it's like
it's too late.
Yeah,
right. Like the mentality is there. They're not doing anything wrong. Like at least it's in private, whatever she's saying, right? So
yeah. They're like retired. They're not in the public sphere. in a small town with a whole bunch of other old racists, and it's all fine. And then it'd be ashamed to like get rid of, or just like not try and listen to the other things that they have insight on from being a person who lived a life, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, and you said that you grew up in Montreal.
Yeah, not on like the actual island per se. I was born in the South Shore, so it's kind of I would say it's a little bit small town, but more like suburbia type. And we were next to Kanawaki, so we were next to a native reserve. So that was really cool. And then, well, my parents split and everything, and then I was living half in Montreal on the island on my dad's side, and my mother, she moved to Laval, that's north. So that's really like the Quebec way, like raunchy French, like up north type deal. Yeah, it was fun.
Right on. So when did you find your ways to Toronto?
I moved for the first summer in 2015 after I finished audio recording school to pursue music further, just to get out of the French music scene, because I sing in English, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't see my future working out too well in Montreal, so it was either, you know, Toronto or New York City. So I thought of the way things were going on in the States, I did not want to move to the US, so I ended up in Toronto.
Right on. How about you?
I was kind of everywhere for a little bit. You know, I moved from Campbellford to Ottawa, worked there for a little bit, and then decided to go to the same audio school that Mel went to in Montreal. Yeah. Okay. So, lived there, did that, and then it was always in the back of my mind, though, to go to Toronto and just like pursue bigger things, and I always wanted to do music, and so Toronto is sort of like, I guess, the hub of it all now, really. I mean, it's that in Vancouver, but I wasn't willing to go that far, right? So I just kind of always wanted to just go to Toronto anyways. So after audio school, I went to Toronto and just started furthering myself as a musician, you know, like really kind of focusing. I feel like I was out there playing around for a little bit and trying to figure out exactly like where I needed to go. But once I moved to Toronto, it kind of put it in my mind as to like where I needed to go.
Sweet. So when did you get interested in music and start playing around on instruments? I saw that you took piano lessons for a while.
Yeah. Well, I just come from a musical family, right? So my dad played guitar. And then he got me doing piano lessons when I was 9, which I hated, for the record. But then I kind of moved on. I played like piano and like keyboard in the church worship band for years, and then I was like, this is boring. So then I found my dad's old bass guitar and started playing bass. All the while, like, I was listening to rap music. And so I was playing instruments and listening to rap music and like really writing a lot as well. And so I was kind of just doing both. But as a teenager, I was playing more bass in bands than I was like doing my own thing with the rap. The rap was more of just like a side thing. Mm-hmm. And then once I moved away from my hometown, it grew and grew, right? Like I stopped playing bass and started rapping more. And then, yeah. Basically, now I don't even really play bass anymore. It just kind of sits there, and I mean, I love bass, but it's just something that I find that I don't even have time for anymore. Yeah.
Right on. What about you, Mel?
Music has been in my family too. Like my dad's a drummer, and so he's been in tons of different bands, like for fun, in Montreal, and back in the day. In Morin Heights, there used to be like that big recording studio where like Rush recorded and tons of big bands, April Wine and whatnot. And my dad was kind of doing stuff there too. So when I was a kid, he was just telling me all about it. And I just got into music fairly quickly. Big music lovers in my family. So I just dove right in with singing lessons and dance lessons. And in high school, I was playing kind of all over the place. I was trying like flute and trumpet, but I always liked writing songs. And just from there, I didn't think I would ever take music seriously. It was more like leisure. Like I loved singing. I knew I was good at it. I knew I was good at songwriting, but I didn't know I would actually take that into a career. Until one day it just clicked. I'm like,